I feel like we always start laughing when it does the countdown. Oh my God. The final countdown. Okay. Well, we're back with another episode of Real Mom Talk with Lisa
and Melissa.
Hey.
Hey.
We're going to talk today about body autonomy.
Body autonomy.
Which, I mean, I know what that means because I know what the word body means and autonomy means.
Even Google it, shall we?
But I never heard it as a phrase like this is a thing, right? The way that you put it today, Melissa.
Yep. Well, I'm going to read what it says on Google.
GTS it.
What is bodily autonomy? Bodily autonomy is defined as the right to make decisions about your own body, life, and future without coercion or violence. It includes deciding whether or not to have sex, use contraception, or go to the doctor. Bodily autonomy has long been recognized as a fundamental human right.
Something for men and women?
Absolutely.
All people.
And even more importantly, when it comes to our podcast, children.
Right. And our daughters.
Yes.
In this case specifically. But super important to teach our boys about body autonomy.
Yes.
Right? I just got chills because we're not even talking about sex.
No.
But that definition did bring it up. But like someday our kids are going to have sex.
Yeah.
And they're also going to go, yeah. Whew, I'm like literally my whole body is like tingling.
That's why
I'm not sure in a good way, like just I'm scared. But
dude, I have sweaty palms.
If we don't talk about this stuff now.
Was Emerson's age when I had the talk with her, and I got a lot of flack for that. But I'm so passionate about her having all the fucking
information
right, that I didn't care.
But body autonomy starts now, right?
Absolutely. And it's at my daughter's age now where they start to disconnect from you with that. And my experience, and most women my age's experience, when I did that with my mom, I was shamed. I was told, I can see you naked if I want. You're my daughter. I made you. I changed your diapers. I did blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. That's not the case anymore. You taught me how to do all these things for myself, and now I want privacy. And my daughter established that boundary with me a couple days ago.
Wow.
And it was powerful. And my most amazing insight right now as a mother is Brenna's at an age that I remember being very vividly. And I think that's very important with parenting is if you can resonate with your child and their experience.
Interesting.
Because
I don't have a lot of memories. I have memories, but I've also come to learn that sometimes memories at certain ages become repressed.
Yes.
Maybe because of negativity or trauma associated with it, right? I don't have any memories of being shamed for wanting privacy. I think humor was used a lot more in my home, which can have an undertone of shame and guilt as well, right? Everything was like a joke in my home.
Psychology kind of.
Yeah. But how did you, like, what happened with Brenna and how did you handle it?
So I just noticed Saturday that she was a different kid from the day before, and the hits kept coming. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but I was just noticing. It's like something was clicking for her. Yeah. And I was noticing because I'm very aware. And I was hanging out with her in her room, and she was getting ready for bed. And she grabbed her jammies, and she went to go to the bathroom. And I said, "Do you not want to change in front of me?" And she was shy about it. She goes, "No." And I said, "Oh, do you want me to leave, honey? You can change your room. We'll come back." "Oh, Mommy, it's okay. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back." And I said, "Okay." She comes back, and I celebrated her. I said, "I'm so proud of you for honoring your own boundary, even with me, because I've told her whole life to do that. And you had bodily autonomy. You're at a stage where you don't want me to see you naked, and I respect that. It's not going to be that way forever."
Right.
It's right now.
Yeah. It could just have been that day too.
It could have just been that day.
Right. I mean, kids, they change their minds all the time.
But I made her feel safe.
Right.
And I made her feel that it's okay. And it should be.
Absolutely. I think, way to go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I felt like I won as a mom.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because you empowered your daughter as well to win,
Mm-hmm.
Later in life, maybe
Yeah, I hope so.
in a
I'll
situation.
never forget that moment. She probably will, maybe not, but
Maybe not.
it's in her body.
Right.
It's in her memory.
Exactly.
And it's healing a generational curse, or not curse, generational trauma, by the way, because my mom was that way, I started my period 2 days before I turned 12, and I did not tell my mom. We lived in Hawaii at the time, and we had her best friend visiting us, and they had a daughter who was like 19. I told her because I needed to tell someone.
Did you even know this 19-year-old girl?
No, but I felt safer telling her because I knew my mom was going to embarrass me and call everyone, my little girl's a woman. I didn't want that. That's embarrassing. Don't spotlight me. Ask my permission first, right? Like Brenda already talked about that when she starts her period, she wants a red party. It's kind of like a thing. She wants to, do that. But when my mom found out from this girl, because this girl told her, and I think the girl did the right thing, my mom was pissed. I got in trouble.
You got in trouble for not sharing that you got your period.
Mm-hmm. How could you do that to me? How could you not tell me I'm your mother? And I was like, case in point, lady.
Right. We always, not period related, but like a segue, because I have younger kids, tickling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And anytime our kids say stop, we stop immediately. We always say, you said stop, so I'm stopping.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that.
You said stop, so I'm stopping.
Mm-hmm.
I know growing up, relatives, parents, whatever, right? It was very common. You could, be getting tickled and stop, and they wouldn't listen, right?
Yeah.
And if, I think if you went back now and said something to them to that effect, they'd probably, blow it off, right? But, forcing your kids to give hugs.
Oh, yeah. Huge on that.
Huge. And that's something I could tell when we, got to a stage that I think my parents were a bit miffed by, but I just
because they don't sometimes want to hug their grandparents,
right,
yeah,
and I just and my husband, we just stayed the course, and we were just consistent with everyone. It's not like we're making the kids give hugs to one family member and not another, but then we also help to vocalize
right
for the child to say, if they don't want to, they don't want to give a hug right now, that's okay. Can you give a fist bump? Can you give a high five? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a savvy, in touch adult realizes, oh, okay, right, and they can respect the boundary, but not everyone will, right? And not everyone will in our child's life.
That's right.
So what you were doing just then in that interaction, or what we're doing with the tickling, right, is laying, what is all that feedback? I don't know. Laying the foundation to say, hey, Brenna, hey, Emerson, it's okay to respect your body and your boundaries, your physical boundaries, right? And then also teaching them to teach those around them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. My mom and my stepdad are French, so I had to kiss everybody that came over, all their friends, everybody. I had to kiss them. It was a rule. I get in trouble, and I hated it. I had to kiss my parents too every morning and every night before bed.
Yeah,
I get in trouble.
I used to. My parents and I would kiss on the lips.
No, the French kiss.
Oh yeah, the cheek kiss, right? My parents and I kissed on the lips, and then it was interesting how as I got to a certain age, my dad just kind of backed off that. Mm-hmm. I never had to say, I don't want to kiss you or anything like that. And I actually think it was this weird, it wasn't until I started really I think having a boyfriend that we stopped, and it wasn't.
I don't think that's weird. I think it's because you're transferring that type of physical affection from parental to romantic.
Right. Right. And it's cool that he just knew and backed off. I mean, I never felt like it was a weird thing either way.
Yeah.
But it's more upon reflection, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think, we were just talking not too long ago about respect, right? And how we have to respect our children just like we want them to respect us so that they grow up demanding respect from other people around them. And I think the same is true about body autonomy, right? Yeah.
For sure.
Is giving them the autonomy with their own bodies and allowing them to be in control of that. And that looks like sometimes going into the bathroom or asking you to leave when they're changing.
I knew it was coming too, because whenever she's with a friend, she would want to change in privacy.
Right. Right. I know it's isn't that funny, because girls too, like, then you're gonna, probably see or get to an age where then they're all like changing clothes and doing that in front of each
by
other.
the time they all have their periods, they probably won't
do it
that
as
anymore.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll probably change in front of each other again.
Right. But right now, that privacy, I've definitely seen that I've seen that ebb and flow a little bit with Emerson and her friends, and like the comfort level around changing in front of other girls.
Well, because at this age, they're all starting to develop at a different rate. Like Brenna's most developed out of all of her friends. She's like a small woman. She's 5'1" and 119 pounds. She's 11.
I'm 5'1".
I know.
I don't want to disclose how much I weigh, except to say it's not 119 anymore, which is fine.
Totally.
Because I'm a 44-year-old woman who's had 2 kids.
That's right.
So, and I have a woman's body.
Me too.
But your little girl is becoming a little woman.
Yes, she is. And she's so beautiful.
She is a beautiful girl.
Ugh, I'm terrified.
Yeah. All of our girls are beautiful. Right?
Emerson's striking.
Teaching them to respect their own beauty and the power that comes with that. Everyone, like, pause for a minute and think about your kid as they're getting older and what that's going to be like.
Oh my goodness.
And some days it's like not at all what I thought it was going to be like, right?
No.
I love that you were so like celebratory of Brenna, because I don't know, I feel like, and maybe I'm just in a more sentimental place or something right now with the kids, but that's also something to mourn a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And it goes back to our last episode on respect. Respecting that that's where she's at, and not taking it personal, and not getting upset because they pick up on that.
And not putting, like, if you want to mourn that, which is valid for you,
it's
but
not her job to love me through it.
Yes.
It's mine.
And that's something for you to do separate and away from
That's
her.
What we do for each other as friends, other moms, our partners.
Right.
Because our partners are their, our parenting partner, if we're not married anymore, like that's who we can hopefully go to.
Right. And talk about these things, but not putting it on your kid, which is a lot. I mean, I just have to say, that's what your mom, she put all that garbage on you, right? And then you were like packing it around. And we don't need to be doing that.
No.
And we don't want to be teaching our girls to carry around other people's garbage.
No. Oh God.
Especially
until our 40s. And you're going to do it whatever.
There's going to be something, right?
There always is. So that's the thing too with like autonomy, respect. We can't stop them from fucking up and making mistakes. They have to make them to learn. We can guide them as much as we want, but we have to let them make the mistakes.
Right.
And it's horrible as a parent to watch.
I think listening, and I definitely talk a lot. You like to talk too.
We are talkers.
Yeah, we're talkers.
But that's why we have a podcast. But
I think it's like listening, and sometimes it's not even just listening with your ears, right? It's just observing, maybe even like where your child is at, and recognizing, like you said, you saw she was like, leveling up like right before your eyes, right? And you were seeing the maturation like happen, in this like very short time period, right? Yeah. But being observant and recognizing that, right? And sometimes it's just like you go to bed one night and the next morning you're like looking at your kid and you're like, what, how, oh my gosh, did you just like sprout up overnight? And I swear, I think they do, but like the same thing happens with emotional maturity. Yeah. And body maturity.
Totally. Like, and we talked about with the Mean Girls, like how when it starts, it's because the girls are at different levels of maturity. And Brenna's, one of her friends was already where Brenna's entering now. And it's just now, 6 months later, Brenna's starting to meet her there.
Where she's at. Yeah. They're all on their own journey or life cycle, right? But
Mhm.
it's physical, it's emotional, it's mental,
Ugh.
it's sexual, it's educational,
Yeah.
right? Like where they are in their, education careers or, their activities, right? And just kind of being able to step back and observe your child for where they are and allowing them the autonomy to be themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our job is to prepare them for the world, not to keep them as our babies. That's the hard part.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
I have a bunch of clients right now that are new moms, and just to hear what they talk about and how they talk about how it's so hard, and like, you guys have no fucking idea. This is the easy part.
Yeah.
You think it's hard because you're sleep deprived and they're crying.
Well, and you don't know what
can't
you're
meet their
doing.
needs. You can't, but this is easy.
Yeah. Well, the physical safety piece, right? Like that's when you're
That's
a
your
new
job.
mom, that's your job,
Mhm.
is keeping a kid alive.
Yeah.
And I felt like being a parent didn't really kick in until more like a year, 18 months, where now you're starting to like get into behavior management and, now it's like even more so, right? But
And
you're just,
reciprocating love because they don't
Mhm.
at first.
no, well, they're like,
That's why when
alien
they start
blobs.
to smile at the very right time. When you're about ready to call it quits, like I'm going to put this thing up for adoption, then they smile at you like,
where's the nearest
"Oh my
fire
God."
station?
Yeah,
Right.
Then they smile at you and you're like, I want to have 10 more.
Isn't
And
that is every stage of being a parent,
Mhm.
where you're just like, I can't with this child one more day. And then the next morning it's like,
Yep. Mhm.
boom. So respect your child's autonomy as they grow and know that, if it's a bad quote unquote, right? A hard time, like it's a stage. It's all just a stage.
Yeah. Yep.
And
And not to shame them for it. Just be there for them. Love them. That's what they need. They need us to be present and just love them especially when they fuck up. And
mhm.
sometimes their fuck ups are going to be directed at us with the attitude and this and that. And I do check Brenna real quick. I say, hey, where's that coming? My favorite thing to say now that my boyfriend taught me, anytime someone offends me, hurts me, anything is, why would you say that to me? I think we talked about this.
Mhm.
It's such a great reminder because it makes them have to stop and look at themselves. Like, why did I say that? Why did I act like that? Why did I do that?
It's a good one.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you say that to me? Or why did you say that to me like that?
Or why did you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's good. All right. That's just like a quickie.
That was a quickie. We like
Yeah.
those.
Some
Busy moms on a Wednesday.
busy moms. I mean,
And we did an afternoon. We pulled that together.
Yep. I had a field trip.
Yeah,
in
we
the
were
rain.
supposed to have gardening week, but that got canceled.
That was not happening.
That was not happening.
And if it was, it would have been a muddy, wormy
very,
mess.
very not fun. And then, we didn't have horseback riding today because of all the rain. I'm sorry, but that rain scared me last night a little. It was like a bucket was turned over upside down. That happened multiple times yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like, how can we take any more of this?
Right.
And we're not done.
Nope. We still have more rain coming.
Tomorrow, Friday, next weekend.
And on that note, we have more of these coming.
We do have more
real mom talk.
Yes, and with guests.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll see you soon. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.